like that new intro song. Hey, 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 how are y'all doing this evening? This is AMPspire Interviews, and I am your host, Plump Queen. Say hey, Carl. How you doing? Say hey. Carl, are you there? You got a nice smile. Great, what's what we call that, a shot, but are you there?
I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, okay, there you go. How you doing? How you doing this evening?
Everything is peace. I'm good.
All
How are
right.
you?
I am awesome with the sauce on it. I cannot complain. I am excited, to show my viewers and tell them all about you.
That's right.
All right, because we're doing this for the culture, right?
Let's get it. Let's get
All
it.
right, all right. So tell us who you are, where you from to start with, and we'll get right into it.
Okay. My name is Carl Myers. I'm from the Bronx, New York. I came to Macon in about 2016. Started doing community work, and that's mainly what I'm known for here in Macon.
All right. So you say you from the Bronx, right? I'm from Queens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For some reason, you got keep getting these still shots. I don't know what it is. I think, I guess the universe wants you to get your photos in during the feed. I don't know what it is, but I can hear you, but I cannot see you in real time.
I could hear and see you good.
Oh,
So I don't.
I don't know. We're gonna figure this out because we were trying to talk to y'all. So let me see if I can remove you and bring you back in. See, this is what happens when things are live. Let's try it. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna kick you out the studio, and then you bring yourself back in. And while they do that, I'm gonna tell them a little bit about you. Okay, let's try this.
All right.
Okay. All right. So yes. So I met Carl Myers during a conversation on Facebook. He is an advocate for the community, just like I am. And, like I say, I try to connect with people in like mindedness so we can solve these issues and get to these solutions. All right. So our conversation sparked the interview on his podcast. And now, I want to bring him on so I can introduce him to you. Okay. I think he is here. Say hey.
Peace. Peace.
Yeah, there you go, and everything is cool. All right, all right, all right.
All
Okay.
right.
So tell them who you say you're from. Carl Myers. You're from the Bronx. So,
Yes, my name is Carl Myers. I'm from the Bronx. I came to Macon in about 2016, and I've been working in the community ever since.
all right, now what would bring you to Macon, coming from New York?
So, I was incarcerated in the state of Georgia, and I got out, and this is where I came home to Macon.
Okay, okay, interesting. That sounds divine to me. Okay, so now why did you stay, if I may ask?
So my girl, she's from Dublin, and we chose to move to Macon. My father, he stays in Atlanta, and I didn't want to stay in Atlanta, so I chose to stay in Macon.
Okay, okay. So what drives you to be an advocate for the community?
Just my story in general. Me coming from New York, me getting into trouble in New York, and then coming down here, getting into more trouble, and going to prison, and just me going to prison, me reforming myself, and seeing the things that I've been through, and coming home and still seeing people faced with the same problems that I was once faced with and still faced with. I my passion is to push that reformation into the community.
Okay, all right, that's awesome. We need more people like you. So, in what ways are you doing that?
Working with the youth. Right now, I'm working with Mr. Henry Ficklin, and I'm working with people who's coming home from prison or either out of jail, and I'm working with them, giving them consultations, just really being a support system for them. One guy I'm working with right now, he's working with me at my job. I got him a job with me, and I'm just helping them. So that's primarily what I'm doing right now.
Okay, that is amazing. Well, I'm going to say thank you, I'm saying, for the community for doing that. Because, a lot of people, once they're in your situation, just kind of think about themselves. Trying to reform other people is not something that's on their mind. So I appreciate, that you want to give back to the community and do something different for the generations, under you. So
Well, the biggest, let me say this, the biggest thing inside and outside that I was faced with was having a support system.
mm,
Having a support system, having people that truly support me, you know what I'm saying, inside and outside. And that's what I try to create for everybody I try to encounter. Let's be each other's support system. It takes a village. That's really what the village concept is, a support system.
absolutely. Like-minded, because I'm definitely the same way, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this podcast with you, and I wanted to come on your platform as well, to do that. So your podcast, Do It for the Culture. How did
Right.
that start? What is it about?
I'm a super fan of podcasts, and I excuse me, I actually like to have conversations. So that's how that came about. And me and Derek James actually sat down and thought about it. At first, we had a podcast called War Room, the War Room. And if you ever been around me and Derek, it might sound like we're arguing, but we're so passionate about what we're saying and both of our perspectives. So we just called it the War Room, and then from there, I was like, I want to do something more oriented to the culture, and that's where Do It for the Culture came about.
Okay, awesome. So what exactly would people see when they watch Do It for the Culture?
Do It for the Culture is a podcast where I have conversations with different people in the community who's doing a plethora of things, from music to owning their own networks, just different people who's doing awesome things to me, that I feel like the community needs to be aware of.
And how important do you think the work that you're trying to do with your podcast is for our community?
It's very imperative. It's imperative because I'm so big on let's change the narrative. I seen what the negative uh propaganda and different things that they put out, what that has done to our community. So it's time to change the narrative, and with platforms such as mine and yours, I think that's what we're really trying to do: change the narrative, give people different ideas and topics to put in their perspective.
Okay, so my next question is, what exactly is the narrative that you believe that we need to have? You said we change the narrative. Well, what are we changing it to?
Just a righteous one, a righteous one. When I say righteous, just to be right, correct, and that's based on knowledge. A big part of my reformation was knowing that I'm intelligent. So that means that everything else around me is intelligence too. And the only way I could tap into that intelligence is if I actually um, look, listen, observe, and respect the thing that I'm looking towards. And I think that's what we all need. We all need to understand that we're intelligence and that everything around us is intelligence, is to know the different things around us so we don't have to be acting out of ignorance, because that's what a lot of the times is happening, moving off of ignorance.
I definitely agree. Ignorance is definitely a big thing. So, how do we fix that? What are your ideas? Because when I came on your platform, I was giving you my spit. So,
Mhm.
what are your ideas and what do you think that we need to do to facilitate that?
Um, I can only speak from my perspective, right? So,
Absolutely.
I can only speak off the things that I'm doing. Rallies by gathering people, with information. I'm pointing in the direction of different resources, different workshops that we're really trying to push. Whether it be financial literacy, cooking, all different type of workshops. I feel like that's very imperative in our community. You'd be surprised. People don't know how to cook. People don't know how to sew. People don't know how to farm. People don't know. It's a lot of different workshops that we could be having within the community. But the biggest challenge has been just space, really, to do these different things. To be
Okay.
honest.
You said space. Now, what do you mean by you need the space to do that?
The space, like we need our own buildings, we need our own schools, we need our own places that we could do this.
Okay, I definitely agree. Now, the conversation we was having is you was pretty much asking. I was asking. You were asking that same question, or you were saying that, we need to have these things. We need to have this space,
Mhm.
and I was saying, that well, we all have to kind of stick together to do that. A lot of us have to want to do these things and put in the energy to get it done. So
Right.
my question to you is, what would be your ideas to get them involved? Because I understand that certain people don't are not used to certain things. So how do we get them used to that?
Mhm. um for one, being consistent and just having the ability to gather the people. That's the other hard part, gathering the people, and then from gathering the people, just being consistently so you could get to know them and see where they fit in the scheme of things, because it's a village. We all know everybody's not going to be the scholar. Everybody's not going to be the nourisher. Everybody's not going to be the protector. Everybody's not, we all have different parts that we play in the village, but it takes time to get to develop that, through relationship, through conversation, not just a one-time thing. And that's a lot of the times what happens, it be hit or miss situations, the consistency is rarely there.
So I've learned just in business how important consistency is. So when you're talking about changing mindsets and changing communities, that is a large fleet.
Right.
So we both live in Macon, but
Mhm.
we're both from New York. So like I was saying, like for me personally, my peoples are from out here. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Houstons. They're from Twix County, but I'm still kind of an outsider.
Right.
I've lived here a long time, but I'm still on the outskirts. So me
It's
personally, no, go ahead.
it's it's major different. It's different. It's different. It's New York. So let's talk about hip hop, right? Hip hop started out in the park, right? Because it couldn't be in the club at that said time, right? So
Right.
this is why we chose the parks. But the parks, before hip hop came into the equation, the parks was already a social gathering for the community. In any community that you go into New York, the park is the
Right.
mecca of the community, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So when it comes to Macon and their parks, you run into so many different uh red tape, I want to call it. You run into so many technical things that you have to go through to throw these different events, to have these different gatherings, to
Mhm.
gather the people to socialize. Other than that, think about it. Where can you socialize with the people? I mean, on that type of time. When I mean to have a conscious conversation.
I
Uh,
feel I feel like we would have to be creative with that. Like maybe it seems like something else,
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But when they get there, it be about that. Like for instance, there was an event, some kind of car show that they had at the Triangle Macon, the art gallery.
Hmm.
So I went. I felt like it was going to be a good networking space.
Right.
So it was. I didn't see any bikes or anything like that. They had Invite Bright tickets and all of that. So I feel like a lot of people was wanted to come out, but had you if you have a situation like that, but then have conscious vendors or have those conversations there.
Well, see, that's another thing too. Like New York, the radio station is connected with the community. Down here, the radio stations are really not connected with the community to have a platform to where the community gets to broadcast these different events, and the radio station is actually connected. Down here, these things happen, but it's more so business. Like they're paid to be there type of thing. It's not a genuine relationship to the point where I'm trying to help you, you trying to help me elevate. You
Mhm.
get what I'm saying? Like in New York, I seen Funk Master Flex come from the club, get on the radio, and put his whole community on. The rappers that he knew, they started to get deals. Elevation started to happen. It became a process. You don't really see those genuine relationships. You see a lot of business transactions, a lot of people spending money back and forth, but the genuine relationships, I don't see them.
Well, I would like to think that we're changing that because I know me personally, I can't speak for other people, but I am a genuine person and I like to make genuine relationships. Like I don't own a radio station, but I do own a Roku station, and I've
Right.
been definitely trying to connect. I would like my platform to be that
How
radio station.
how let me ask you that. How has that process been for you? Like, connecting with people genuinely, like, look, this is my platform. I have this. I'm trying to help you, or has it been just let's get straight to business?
I'll say it's been a little bit of both. I
Mhm.
have come across situations where people, don't want to do the barter thing. They just want to, okay, we just need to pay for services and all of that. And then I've also come into contact with situations where they get it. All right, you got a service, I got this service, let's work together. So I'll say it's 50-50. I do my due diligence to stay consistent, and I'm in a lot of groups, so I try to connect with people all the time. I don't care where I'm at. If I'm catching an Uber, I'm talking to somebody. I've met several videographers, photographers, and things of that nature just by holding, that conversation. Now I'm a very sociable person, and I'm not gonna lie, though Ma helps out a little bit. People tend to like to want to talk to me, even if it's just to figure out what's going on, with this. So I kind of use that to my advantage, you know what I'm saying, to hold those conversations. So
Right.
that's what I do. So
Mhm.
I think but I would like if all the making nights out there listening, I want to know about these events. I would probably be able to show up more. I would like to have press. I'm actually connected with magazines and different situations that would love, you know what I'm saying, to get this, to be a part of it. So I would love for people to send me this information. Let me know in advance when you have an event coming up. And I don't know if you've been noticing how I move, but I'm gonna promote the fuck out of it. You give it to me. It's gonna go on all my platforms. I'm gonna put it where it need to be because that's what I have. You know what I'm saying? That's what I have right now, and that's the way I can help. So I
Right.
feel like I said, if y'all listening, let's do this. And one of our guests is talking. Said my company is also working with two local internet companies to have more media involved in making the community better. That's awesome, Ted. Where are you located? Are you located in Macon? Because yeah, these are the conversations, Nancy, because I'm all about unity. And again, we pick and choose, you know what I'm saying, what we want to come together on. Because like I said, you go on a Friday night, first Friday, you know what I'm saying? Now I think Vibes is the spot. First
Yeah.
Friday, see, first Friday on Vibes, guess what? It's real easy to gather, even during
It's
the
but
pandemic.
see, but see, that's the thing. Like, we'll gather for things of that nature, but when it comes to something different, is very slim, and that needs to me that needs to change. But at the same time, things of that nature gets way more promotion,
It does. It
and
does.
it's marketed way more, so it becomes a trend. And what we're doing, the type of work that we're doing, is against that trend. You know, we're trying to reform people from those type of things. So it's like it's tug of war.
Well, I've been thinking about how to do that, especially since our first conversation.
Mhm.
So when you think about why we like the things that we like, you know what I'm saying? Why we're attracted to these negative things is because they wrap it up in a pretty bow. Like the music that we listen, the rap music that is out there. Most of the time, people are not even really worrying about the lyrics. They just got an ill ass beat. You know what I'm saying? And you bumping it and you hear it a million times on the radio, like they say, they promote that. So then that's what attracts you to it. Because I catch myself, you know what I'm saying, dancing to songs that I particularly don't like because it's very low vibrational. But I can't help it, like, a. So we gotta do that same thing with positive music. If
Right.
it's the beat that that's attracting them, so then we need some
But
funky ass
a
beats.
big, like you said, a big part of the music now, it's not even the music, it's the experience that happens with the music, and the club, the alcohol, everything complements the whole thing, right?
Hmm.
So on our side, it needs to be more than just conversations, literature, podcasts. It needs to be the whole lifestyle. Like we need to have um restaurants and social gathering places to where we could carry these type of things on.
I
You
agree.
know, we need a building to where we could play music and there's no dancing going on, but people conversating, networking, sharing books, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It just That's one thing that I like about Atlanta. That's one thing I like about New York. That's one thing I like about some of the cities that I've been to. It's things to cater to different genres.
I understand that coming from New York, but here's the thing: we're here in Macon, and
Mhm.
so how do we? Because we're here trying to make a difference here. So how do we
It's
how do
it's
we work
it's
around
it's
that?
it's if you know anything about Macon, which I do, because I do the research to anywhere that I lay my head at. It's been redlined for years. And if you know anything about redline,
I don't. Can you explain that? No, I don't know what that line is.
so redlining is when a certain area of the town has been really um sectioned off. Like they don't get no loans in this area, uh no business. It's just redline. It's like no type of opportunity. These impoverished areas that we see, and this has been going on in Macon since the 30s. You get what I'm saying? And so you ask yourself why, right? And of course, it's been people that's tried to do the same thing that we're doing. You get what I'm saying? It's just one of those things. And unlike New York, where culture is pushed and promoted and celebrated, Macon has never really had a period of time to where they was able to do that. So we're still dealing with a black and white town. If you get what I'm saying, and if you know what I'm saying, it's like the agenda is to keep a community a consumer, And you know, the consumer really doesn't have at this point in 2022, the consumer has no color. It's just whoever the minority is. You know, you get what I'm saying? Like
I'm saying.
whoever the less fortunate or the uneducated or whatever it is, whoever that person is, that's who the consumer is, and that's who the other side um lives off of, basically.
So then pretty much it's a mindset thing because the reality is we in statistically the black community is the biggest like you said we're the biggest consumers, meaning that we spend the most money.
Right.
So if we spend the most money, if we were spending our money on other things, that would work in our favor. So
Absolutely.
how do we change people's minds to see the value in us? Because from my understanding,
We have to
right now,
start.
well, downtown Macon right now
Mhm,
is filled with black businesses
mhm.
more than you know what I'm saying than they have in the past 30 years if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
So we're out here, the businesses are there, but how do we get the community to support them? How do we get the community to go to? There's a boutique called Daphne's 357, if I'm not mistaken, on the corner of
I'm
MLK.
familiar with I'm familiar with Daphne. We have done business before.
See what I'm saying? So there's a boutique right there. You know what I'm saying? Right in the heart of downtown. But folks will go to Atlanta, go to the Gucci store, you know what I'm saying, and spend triple probably what, you know what I'm saying, what's in her boutique.
Why though? Why? I always ask
Value.
myself.
Value. Gucci, the name Gucci is value. If
Well,
you
no,
own a Gucci,
we'll go. But guess what? We'll go all the way to Atlanta to go to somebody's boutique there. It's just the experience. You get what I'm saying? Like it it's celebrated more. It's a thing in Atlanta. So we go all the way to Atlanta to be a part of the thing. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like Macon needs to be more like that. Like, okay, so you're from New York. What you been to Jamaica Ave before?
oh hell yeah, I grew up on Jamaica.
It's a scene, right?
Oh
You
hell
had to go there. You had to be there.
yeah, yeah.
Macon needs a spot like that they can embrace, and everybody calls it home. And really, Cherry Street is becoming that. It's becoming a hub for that, like you said, vibes, Brookhaven, uh 430,
Mm-hmm.
Recess is right there. Um
That sip and paint, isn't that sip and paint
Sip and
spot?
Paint, Sierra, X Art Lounge, correct. It's becoming that scene, that hub. Um and that's a good starting point, but we need a lot more. We need a lot more. And we just have to focus from there. That being a starting point, we need to focus on the necessities of the community, the real essentials that we really need, and then from there we need to support that.
Or what essentials?
Grocery store, school, hospital. You know, the longevity things, the
Mm.
things that you see. These Indians, these Patels, you know, you see their kids becoming lawyers, doctors, into agriculture. Why? Because those are the longevity things. These are the things that's going to sustain the family in the long run for 50, 100 years.
That's good. So again, how do we? I'll say this. What are we gonna do? Since we have these platforms and since this is what we want to do, I feel like we should, have different conversations on a regular basis.
Mhm.
Because just from what I'm listening to you, I feel like the businesses that are out there, you know what I'm saying, might need to boost up what they got going on. Because what I do know about my platform, me being an amputee and posting pictures of myself and making very attractive videos, those are the things that actually attract people to my platform.
Mhm.
Like me chopping up pineapples. I got about 5,000 views on a video of me showing folks me chopping up pineapples with one arm. So that brings them to my platform because it's like, wow. And then they start looking at the other stuff that I got going on. And
Right.
people see my aura and they love how happy I am and all that. Well, then I can bring you to my spirituality or the things that I'm doing, you know what I'm saying, that puts me in that state. So
Mhm.
again, you catch more bees with honey, because to be quite honest, that's what all these negative entities are doing. They're putting out this candy, putting out these, you know what I'm saying, this stuff that is so attractive to you, it makes you want it. It makes you have to need it. So we kind of got to do the same thing.
Same thing. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
I'm 100% with you on that. Yeah, absolutely. That's my thing. Like for what they're doing on that side, we have to be doing on this side.
now me, I'm into music. So right now there's a lot of positive music out there. I try my best to promote that. So when I'm posting pictures of myself or videos, I try to use those songs.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? To Because like I'll shout one out, Free Soul and Lava. If anybody's ever heard of them, they're fire. They talk about crystals and my energy and all that stuff, but they should be bumping.
And see that's the imperative side of things that you're doing. You see, you're promoting the lifestyle. You know, just putting the camera on and letting people see how you live. You know, it's outside of what they're seeing on TV. It's outside of them seeing somebody stand on somebody's couch, popping bottles. You get
That,
what I'm saying?
that is true.
It's something different. But see, for me, that's when I began to grow. When I started to see different things outside of my everyday, you know, individuals standing on the corner, you know, females twerking, all of that. When I started to go to the library and see people read and just do different things, I started to grow. I started to elevate.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely doing my due diligence to try to do that. So I mean, so Carl, so when we gonna see your life? When we gonna see you on camera? And what you got going on?
You could tune in every Friday to do it for the culture. Um, I have a couple of things going on in the community coming soon. I had a youth forum coming up Saturday, but I had a couple of technical difficulties with it, so I'm gonna reschedule it. But you know, I that's my thing. You know, I do the rallies. I try to do different social gatherings other than what you would get in the club. So I did art exhibits. I did things focusing on poetry. Um, I'm a cultural person, so I'm into the art, I'm into the music, I'm into all of that, but I just try to display it in a different fashion other than what you would get in the club.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to your next event. Now, I wanted to get into one thing before I let you go, because I know you're a busy man.
Mhm,
You have a newsletter.
mhm.
Let's talk about that. Tell us about that.
So the newsletter is an equality newsletter. That's really been a dream of mine of create. I was a big fan of Ebony and Jet, and I seen the purpose of it and how it really promoted black business and really put black business on the map. And that has always been my passion. So that's really why I created it. But for here in Macon, it's a lot of history when it comes to Macon. A lot of history. We could go as far back as dealing with the Creek Indians to the music scene with Otis Redding to just it's a lot of history in Macon, but unfortunately, a lot of people don't know the history of Macon, especially when it comes to the Black community, because again, they never had a chance to really celebrate and embrace their own culture. So, with the newsletter, that's what I try to highlight.
All right. Sounds like something that I need to look into. Maybe I can put some content in there.
Also, getting back to creating a platform for businesses and entrepreneurs to um, get their stuff out.
Already in the works. I want to start, well, I am going to start a financial literacy podcast where I wanted to major, well, at least two or three major hosts that are in different financial industries, and then have other, depending on what it is we're talking about, we'll have experts that are in that particular field, to give their expertise, and that'll allow them to be able to solicit their services.
Right.
So
And
I'm
that's,
definitely working on that.
that's what I'm all about. Like that's what the community needs, because that's where we're gonna see advancement. That's where we're gonna see improvement. So I'm all into that any type of way. Again, like I said, we just need to find more spaces to where we could do these things at on a consistent basis.
Well, AMPspire Media Network is definitely that place. I can promise you that. So I'm glad that we have connected, and I'm definitely looking forward to doing work with you because, yeah, somebody got to do it. Somebody definitely has to do it, and I got the time, and I got the space, so we're gonna get it done. Well, Alright,
Indeed.
is there anything else that you want to tell our viewers before you go?
Yeah, look out for the equality website that'll be dropping soon. The newsletter will be out digitally and tangibly, so just look out for that. That's on the on some of the next few things that's coming up.
Okay, awesome. And tell them how they can watch Do It for the Culture podcast.
You could tune in to Do It for the Culture on YouTube, and it's also on Anchor.
All right. Well, I appreciate you so kindly, sir, for your time and your energy, and
Thank
definitely appreciate the time and energy you're putting into our community. We need it. Thank you so much, saying for doing that. And I think we should do the swap thing, come up with particular conversations. And, I look at it like divine masculine, divine feminine kind of thing. We can go on yours, go back and forth so we can,
before I go, I wanna say this. I feel like this is how growth happens, through conversations. It's a person right now who never heard something we said, and they learned something, so this is how new things happen, so I'm definitely for the conversations anytime. Let's make it happen.
let's do it. All right. Well, I appreciate you, and you enjoy the rest of your evening, and you'll definitely be back.
All right.
All right. All right, that was dope. All right. Carl Myers would Do It for the Culture. Make sure you go to his YouTube channel. I believe it's under his name, Carl Myers, and definitely check out his anchor. And also make sure you look out for the newsletter and the website. Okay. So, of course, guys, now I had an interesting weekend, so I'm a little tired. So, y'all gonna have to excuse me. I know I'll be having these technical difficulties. See, look at me, I can't even say it. AMPspire Media Network. Yes. Okay. You can definitely catch all of our AMPspire interviews on our Roku channel. Okay. Make sure you download it. If you ain't got a Roku, like I said, go to Walmart, get you one for $24.99. Okay. Do not miss any of this inspiration. You can sit on your couch with your popcorn, whether it be vegan style or not, and you can sit with the family and you can listen to these conversations, you know what I'm saying, the comfortability of your own home. All right. So tomorrow is going to be our Soul Sister Therapy Childhood Trauma podcast. All right. We have a new face, a new season. One of our sisters, she has been called off to do something else. That is the life of a healer. We must go where it is that we need to be. So my sister and I, Misha, are going to keep up the torch, keep it going, and we have added a day. We have added Thursdays, so Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. We will be having our Soul Sister Therapy Childhood Trauma podcast. So make sure that you tap in. We are still healing, but we're just doing it 2 days a week. All right. Also on Sundays, we have Sundays with Spirit with 33 Master Teacher. Okay, now this Sunday, like I said, as healers, we got to go where we supposed to go. Our sister was in Florida, what I'm saying, getting her Yemenya on, and we will be back this Sunday, what I'm saying, so she can tell us what spirit, done put on her heart. Okay, so I am doing my due diligence to bring spirituality to television. Okay, my whole life, I've watched, religious programs on TV, and now I feel like it's time, what I'm saying, for our ancestors and, what I'm saying, and our backgrounds to be on TV now. So I'm excited and very proud of Sundays with Spirit. So make sure y'all tune in every Sunday night at 9 p.m. All right. Also, Tell True Vision, Social Media Live. This is where I tell all of my simple truths, my unapologetic opinions, and, really what I have on my mind. It's not for everybody. I definitely, ruffle feathers and, hurt feelings sometimes, but I promise you it is all for the sake, like we were saying earlier, about those conversations. You know what I'm saying? We need to have those hard conversations so we can grow and we can become better. And I'm willing to go on out there and say it. So definitely check out Tell True Vision, Social Media Live. And if you are a content creator, if you are a podcaster, or if you have a business that you need advertising for, definitely look us up. The number is 478-318-6933, or you can email at AMPspirecontent999 at yahoo.com. All right. That is where I'm taking all of inquiries, to be a part of this amazing, channel. Okay, that is all I have for you guys. I love, love, love y'all. Appreciate y'all time and your energy. Until the next interview, y'all be inspired. Peace.